That's recording. Okay, we got a record symbol. What's up, Alex? Salud.
Hey, salud.
Good to see you, my brother.
Likewise.
I'm Roberto.
I'm Alex.
We're Roberto and Alex. Vamos a hablar de Cuba.
De Cuba, la bella.
Padres cubanos. Yo nunca he estado en Cuba en mi vida. You've been to Cuba? How was that?
I've been to Cuba 3 times.
3 times?
Once when I was 15, which is a very long time ago. Almost 20 years ago. Second time when I was 18, and third time when I was 25. 3 totally different experiences. Oh yeah.
What was the best?
The best. I mean, it's kind of hard to measure, you know, the amount of fun or whatever, because the last trip I had was with my father, and he was sick. So it was kind of like just a trip to take him back to the homeland, see his family, and. The first trip was interesting because I had to experience the whole eating raw organic food grown in Cuba. You know what I'm saying? Which is way different. If you ever had organic food, you would know what I'm talking about, because there's a different taste to it. You know, so it took some getting used to. Are we looking at the camera?
We're looking here.
Are we looking directly at the camera?
Yeah.
Are we gonna do the whole ignore the camera? We're looking at each other thing
Anyway, that's a good question. No, well, let's try this way. So the first time you went, you had to get used to the food.
So I had to get used to the food. You know, I remember vividly calling my brother in LA and asking. I was only 15, so I was like, you know what? Have a 20-piece chicken nugget, combo meal ready for me from Mickey D's.
I'm just saying, if we're looking at the camera.
Yeah. Okay.
I gotta wear a hat. I'm too bold.
Nah, you're good, bro.
Oh,
you can probably edit that after.
Yeah, right? A little afro. So as soon as you got back, you went to McDonald's.
Oh yeah, I was dreaming of McDonald's. When you would think you're in Cuba,
Yeah.
Eat some lechón and con gris and yuca frita and chicharrón and all that.
Yo estaba leyendo que estás diciendo eso en este momento. Yo estaba leyendo que la comida en Cuba no es la misma comida de antes. Yeah, no sirve. En una forma, it doesn't even work out.
It's not. It's a fusion now. The food in Cuba. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's still people that eat traditional food. But for the most part, you're not allowed to eat
But it's
steak.
not the same Cuban food at all.
No.
As American.
Yeah. No way. Night and day difference. All this. When you order a steak in Cuba, you're gonna get a steak, but it's a pork steak.
Right.
De cerdo. You're not gonna get carne de res, because a lot of people might not know this, but
Sí.
Beef is forbidden in Cuba.
Now it's forbidden. I'm Cuban. I'm not quite sure. Is it forbidden because? Is it forbidden because I'm just doing this because since we got shadow?
Yeah, testing
the whole idea.
Got it. Got it. Okay.
I think this is better. Now, is it forbidden for what purpose?
Well, it's forbidden because the government, uses they use beef for tourism and for the production of milk, and milk is for the elderly and for infants.
But nobody else can drink.
Nobody
milk.
else.
So all these U.S. commercials, drink milk commercials, are bullshit.
Oh yeah, it's bullshit.
Which you heard is a big marketing campaign.
Of
right?
course it is. There's a lot of proof that you don't need milk after a certain age.
Right. So you don't need to drink milk. Okay.
You don't need to. I love milk personally.
So do I.
Yeah, and cheese and dairy. But yeah. So basically, Cuban medicine, they've determined that, if you're a young child, you need milk, and if you're an older person, you need milk as well to support
your
strong bones and stuff
calcium.
like that. Yeah. So that's it. So beef, like steaks and ropa vieja and rabo encendido.
Well, what's the story with that? Why can't the people have that?
It's just forbidden.
It's forbidden. But forbidden. They're protecting because they feel they're going to run out of food, or
I have no idea. I have no idea. But from what I know,
because is it my question would be, sorry for interrupting.
No, go ahead.
Is it forbidden? Is it because they made it illegal because they're a communist country and they're following the communist traits? Is it because they're vegans? Is it because
there's no such thing as a Cuban vegan? Okay, so let's get that out of the way.
Okay, that's good.
And if you are a Cuban vegan, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Que lo tuyo, chico.
Yeah, well,
chica.
Come on, really? Anyway, So going back to the whole, so I don't know. Maybe there might be a correlation between communism and beef production, and I don't know. But, from what I know and from what I experienced firsthand, beef is, out of the question in Cuba. Now, lechon, pork is, it's on the daily menu.
It's a given.
So pork, steak,
So there's the hints for the people asking, well, if they can't eat beef, how are they not vegans?
Pork. Yeah, pork roast. Roasted pork. That's like hand in hand. Cubans and roasted pork. And then you got viandas, which is like your yuca, your malanga, your root vegetables, your pumpkin. They eat a lot of vianda, which is like it's not considered a vegetable. It's more like a root plant.
Right.
And so that was hard for me to adapt to that. I was like, where's the bitén panizado?
Yeah.
Where's
my ropa vieja?
I was like, where's the ropa vieja? And my mom was like,
las croquetas.
My mom was like, ay, cállate.
Croquetas sí tienen, ¿no?
Croqueta they do, but it's croqueta de jamón, croqueta de pescado. Pollo too. Pollo's on the daily menu as well. Pollo, turkey.
Pero eso tiene acceso al pueblo, or?
Yeah, they do. They have their rationed food, which is like, you get your certain amount of beans, X amount of rice, X amount of vegetables, coffee,
sugar.
You even get a bottle of rum,
Really?
Yeah, and you even get tobacco, which is kind of strange because you think, think Cuba medicine, they're highly advanced, and then they're rationing out cigarettes, I don't know. It makes you think. It makes you think. Maybe
things that make you say
maybe it's not that bad. I don't know. I'm not trying to promote smoking, but yeah. So it was a trip for me, bro. And then if we're gonna keep it raw and 100%, back in 20 years ago when I went, the toilets in public restrooms didn't have the toilet seat cover.
No. But Miami doesn't even have that.
Really?
Yeah. Today, Miami doesn't have that.
You seen that?
Oh, bro! Last time I was in Miami was in 2007. It's been a while.
And they didn't have toilet seat covers.
They didn't have toilet seat covers.
What the fuck is up with that?
I think, bro, I had to find an explanation and I couldn't figure it out. My conclusion is it's because of the humidity and sweat and the moisture. It just ends up ripping on your fucking ass anyways. So they don't
So you just sit on the actual porcelain of the.
You wipe it down with your fucking toilet paper and you fucking do that.
So that was strange for me too. So I was like, where the fuck?
But that's in Miami. Miami people, is sí or no?
I don't know. So I've been to Miami once, and that was during Hurricane Andrew, which was like in '95. So that was the last.
That was in '93.
'93?
Yeah, I was in Hurricane Andrew.
You were there?
Yeah.
What the fuck? I was in Kendall.
I was in North Miami.
Wow.
North Miami Beach, and then I was in the earthquake in Los Angeles.
So was I.
And then my brother Caesar was in Katrina.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fucking
So
crazy.
he was the bad luck. And I was in the '89 earthquake in San Francisco.
What a trip. During that Oakland A's versus the...
Yep, 5:30, 5:45 in the daytime. Yep.
Yeah,
in the
what
evening.
A trip.
I was in 2 earthquakes, 1 hurricane. Caesar was in 2 earthquakes.
That is so crazy, bro. What are the odds that, we were both in Miami
at the
Hurricane
time.
Andrew.
Yeah.
Which is, a whole different topic. Because, I could tell you stories about Hurricane Andrew.
That's the next one. No, I could too, man. I could
crazy.
remember the eye of the fucking hurricane. We went out of the apartment building. We were like...
Bro, I was a little kid, which you were too. And my brother and my cousins, we needed wood to board up the windows, bro.
Right.
And there was no wood anywhere.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
So we literally broke into a construction site and started stealing wood. And the cops get there and they're trying to arrest my brother and my cousin.
Whoa.
And they're saying, please don't arrest us. We're trying to get back and board up the house, and it was...
You guys were in a house or an apartment?
In a house.
Yeah. No, we were in an apartment. We got enough to board up the windows.
Yeah.
And then I just remember eating Life cereal. The Life cereal, I was just fucking eating cereal.
It was a fucking trip. Because you're like, what? I was confused, first of all, because I was obviously in a Cuban house, my aunt's house, and they were preparing for a fucking fiesta. They were like getting congri ready and yuca, and I was like, what the hell's going on? There's a hurricane coming. They're like, yeah, that's the whole thing. We party while the hurricane's happening.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah.
It was our first. We had no idea, so we just got a bunch of cans and cereal. And
that's
strange. Comiendo todas esas cosas.
But going back to Cuba. So my first trip was just crazy. I had to adapt to the toilets, the food, the heat, the humidity.
Is it the same humidity as it is in Miami?
It's the humidity where you walk out of the airport and it hits you like a fucking...
Like your fucking glasses.
Like they're putting 100-pound blanket on top of you. That's how it feels.
That's how it happened to me in India. Fucking buses.
It's just fucking crazy.
You get out of a taxi.
Yeah, and I'm a smoker, and while I was in
You
Cuba.
were a smoker when you were a kid?
No. The last trip I was no.
Oye, ¿qué es esto?
No.
I'm gonna talk to your mother.
No. The last trip I was in Cuba, you know, obviously I'm a smoker now. So when I was trying to smoke cigarettes, okay.
Cigarettes. I was gonna ask, what do you smoke?
Cigarettes. Okay, so going back to the whole Cuba thing, drugs are highly forbidden in Cuba. I mean, one joint.
As they were in California 10 years ago.
Yeah. So, I mean, one joint of weed in Cuba could get you, 10 to 15 years.
We're talking about a communist country where if you even talk bad about the Fidel Castro, if you say fuck
Correct.
Fidel Castro, you go to jail for 2 years.
Correct. So, I mean, weed or fuck Fidel Castro, both considered the same thing, basically.
That's crazy.
Well, I mean, no. I mean, talking shit about Fidel Castro is going to get you more time, obviously. Excuse me.
Smoke weed.
Yeah. So, I mean, anyway, so going back. So, what's I talking about?
The second time you
The
went
humidity.
back.
The humidity. I was just like, fuck, what? Anyway, so it was crazy. I mean, dealing with no AC, the food situation. I remember okay, this is one memory I have. My first trip to Cuba. My tia is she's preparing the food, right? Preparing the table, and I see like the yuca right over here, right? I see like the salad over here, and then I see avocados over here, right? Cut up, nicely cut avocados, and I see like black pieces of something on top of the avocado, and I'm like, oh, maybe they're peppercorns. I had no idea. Remember, I'm used to like my mom's cooking and like Versailles and L.A. Cuban food, right?
Awesome.
And Miami Cuban food. But, I'm like, okay, maybe they put peppercorns on their aguacate, right?
Right.
So as I get closer to the avocado, I'm like, what the fuck is it? There were flies. Big ass flies on top of the aguacate. And I'm like, mommy.
Tiene moca.
And then my tia's like, son moca, it's okay. Está bien. Nah, no sé nada. And I'm just like, wow, you see them scatter. And then like, as soon as she like retracts her hand from shooing them away, they go back.
Wow.
And I'm just like, okay, so I'm gonna eat just rice today.
Yeah.
And yuca frita or something,
So, a lot of flies over there? This is Miami or Cuba?
This is Cuba. So a lot of flies in like Los Campos, which is like the
villages.
Yeah, villages, and then they're trash. They don't have how do they they don't pick up the trash.
Yeah.
You're responsible for your own trash, so you burn it, which a lot of Latin American countries do that. They pile up trash on the side of the road, they light it on fire, and they burn it.
That's crazy.
And then you kind of get used to the smell of burning trash, which I started liking after. I was like, I like that smell. Like it's weird. It's a weird kind of like So when I went back to Cuba the second time, I remember smelling burnt trash on the road, and I was like, I'm in Cuba.
That's weird.
It's weird, but and I'm highlighting all the negative stuff on my first trip. So obviously there's plenty. I mean, there's 4 times more cool stuff that I experienced in Cuba. I'm just highlighting this, the hard part of it, of the first trip for me actually. But so aside from that, went to the beaches, Varadero, which is beautiful, Locayo, the Keys in Cuba. There's I don't know how many hundreds of little islands around Cuba that are beautiful. And
have you been to La Isla de la Juventud?
No. That's basically just a mini Cuba.
That's a mini Cuba, right?
Yeah.
That's like Macau for China or something.
Yeah, same shit. It's Cuba, but it's a smaller island.
But I heard it's like made out of marble, and there's a lot of nice.
Oh, there is a lot of nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. But for the most part, the population in La Isla de la Juventud is Cubans, regular Cubans.
Yeah.
Now you go to Key Largo, Cayo Largo, Cayo Coco, Cayo Guillermo. All those keys are, white sand beaches. Virgin beaches. It's beautiful.
And I heard a lot of sea life, a lot of fishes.
Sea life. De todo. And there's even these what is that called when
They say it's a good market for like if you go to Hawaii, it's completely dried out fish, turtles.
Oh
whatever.
Yeah. In Cuba, it's untouched.
It's hunting.
It's
untouched.
Yeah. And there's a beautiful. I don't know what they're called. I'm gonna look it up later. I'll Google it. But if somebody knows, maybe you could put it in the comment section.
Down below.
Yeah.
That's our first down below.
Yeah, down below. That's kind of cool. All right. Yeah. So there's these trees that grow on the actual shore. You know what they're called? So there's trees that actually grow. The roots are like in water, and they grow on the shore of the beach. Mm-mm. It's crazy. It's Cuba has one of the biggest. And it's like a monument. It's one of the biggest.
We'll try to find pictures and put a link.
Yeah, we'll put a link somewhere right here or somewhere. Yeah. Yeah. This is our first video, guys. All right.
You haven't noticed.
So yeah. So yeah. For the most part, the first trip was crazy. I got back. I was like scarfing down McDonald's, like you know, it was pretty crazy. And then crazy enough, like maybe a week later, I was missing like all the weird avocado, you know, fly.
It was a norm.
Yeah, I was like, shit. You know what? I kind of missed the cafe, the Cuban coffee. Like, you know, for the population, there's a good coffee, and then there's like what everybody gets. What everybody gets is like, you know, a typical espresso, right? Ground coffee bean, but they mix it with ground chicharo, which is like a chickpea.
Wow.
So they do that to make it
dilute it
a little bit and make it last longer
and make more of it.
So I got used to drinking espresso with chickpeas in it, and I was like, I actually liked it. And people were like, "You're crazy," and I was like, "Actually, it tastes pretty good."
Well, Starbucks ain't no fucking good.
Oh no. If you go to Cuba, taste some coffee in Cuba, come back, go to your local
if you try,
coffee shop.
I don't want to talk shit. I'm gonna make some coffee after this.
Yeah.
If you taste my coffee the way I make it, there's no comparison.
Yeah. And then in Cuba,
I've get guessed over best fucking coffee.
Yeah.
You know, and it's Cuban original, like
La
Llave.
Yeah.
I just prep it different.
What's the other one?
Pastuso.
We don't want to pigeonhole. La Llave. We got Bustelo. We got Pilon. Right.
That's right.
Hey.
That's right.
Want to sponsor us? Anyway, I'll wear like a La Llave shirt.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? Or like what's that? What's the other company in LA? Cuban family. Gaviña. Anyway,
one.
So go to Cuba, taste the coffee there, come back, you'll be like, oh, this is not coffee.
Garbage.
Same with women. In Cuba, I experienced nothing but great things with just the overall attitude of girls in Cuba. They're just like so open, so friendly. And I was like, wow, like these, I mean, I'm talking about dime pieces. I mean, like girls that are absolute, you know, beautiful girls.
Models.
And they're acting so warm and hospitable and so nice. And then I came back and I vividly remember, bro, like I came back and I was like, I always see girls like, you know, like giving me attitude. I'm like, dude, like wow, like you're like a 4. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you're acting like that? Like, wow.
Well, that's especially LA, bro.
LA.
Like, wow. LA is nuts.
And not to sound shallow, I'm not shallow or anything.
At all.
I'm just saying, like,
but you go anywhere. I've been to Colombia, I've been to India, I've been to China, anywhere in the world, Mexico. You go anywhere in the world, and women, they're nice. They're hi.
Yeah.
I've been to countries where women will wink at me. They'll like me and they'll wink and they'll be like, hey, and I'm like, whoa, and it makes my day. I'm not gonna fuck. I didn't get a phone number.
She wants to fuck.
Yeah,
no,
it has nothing to do with that.
You know?
It has. She found me attractive, or maybe not.
She wanted to wink at me. Be a nice human being.
And she fucking winked at me. It made my fucking day, and I'll never forget it. And this happened, 5-6 years ago, and it's we're talking about it now. Yeah. And that's just this American mentality, and that's especially in LA or New York.
Definitely.
It's disrespectful. It's rude. Anyways, that's not here or there.
Yeah. So I just one thing I noticed about Cuba was the warmth of the people, the hospitality.
You hook up?
The first time, no. The first time I was 15.
Right, no, I understand that.
I was too busy, like, where am I going to take a shit? You know, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, fuck, I want chicken nuggets, you know? Like, I was dreaming of, like, chicken sour sauce. So that was my first trip. I was
in Miami. Did you know in Miami, the McDonald's in Miami, they have mango sauce? For the chicken nuggets?
I didn't know
You order chicken nuggets, you can say, give me mango sauce. And they got a fucking Cuban flavor mango sauce at McDonald's.
That's fucking crazy, man. Yeah. No, so the first time I wasn't doing anything like that. But second trip was pretty cool. Because I was already like, fuck yeah, I'm a fucking expert, you know?
Yeah.
Bring on the aguacate with the flies, you know?
Yeah, I could do that. Hey, this one doesn't have no flies.
I was like, hey, coffee, extra chicharo. Aguacate, extra flies. Let's go. Toilet seat? Who needs a fucking toilet seat?
Fuck no.
Okay. So that was my second trip.
My own.
Yeah, I thought it was super cool. But the thing is, I had a beard. Back then. And I was 18, so this is like, a fucking long time ago. But beards were not a thing in Cuba at that time. Now you go to Cuba, everybody has a fucking beard. Because
really?
Because...
Should I?
It's in, obviously, like, beards have been in the U.S. for a while now. Maybe, like, 2-3 years. And back in the day, information would get to Cuba 5 years, 10 years down the line. So something would be cool here. 5 years later, it's cool in Cuba now.
Right.
But now it's like almost instant because of the internet. People in Cuba have Facebook accounts. I have family that live in...
Before they didn't have that.
They didn't have that. This is like
this is
a result of what's been going on with the whole Obama administration, closing in the gap or whatever. But so now information's like instant. So now I've been seeing people like on Facebook in Cuba with beards. I'm like, oh shit, cool. So long story short, when I was 18, I had a beard. I've had facial hair for a long time.
Since I met him.
Yeah.
12.
Yeah.
Beard.
Yeah. It's the Spanish blood in us, Anyways, full chest hair,
That's right.
shoulder hair,
wax, laser, Sev Laser.
Yeah. Sponsored by Laser Center.
Sev Laser.
Right?
She does Kim Kardashian and Logan.
Does she?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Hit me up.
Glendale, Los Angeles. We got it. Contact us.
Yeah. So
wait. Right now we're gonna start talking about your second trip.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna stop there.
Okay.
We're gonna end this. This is our first podcast. This is our first recording. This is our first live event. If you want to hear the second trip and the third trip, there will be more videos coming out. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Alex Roberto.
Torre Borroto Jiménez Rey.
Ya tú saben. Dale.